Right now at 6, the local filmmaker shines a spotlight on Columbus's hidden artistic talent.
And it is a bit dreary, it's foggy, it's drizzly, it's wet outside, but the weather is really what you make of it, and we'll talk about your forecast coming up.
Plus, an anonymous $130 million donation pays military salaries during the shutdown. The Trump ally who won't be identified.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, October the 27th, and it's very October out there right now.
It feels it.
It certainly is. And one of my kids came to me yesterday, Cole, he came up and he's like, I can't believe it's almost Halloween. He's like, it doesn't feel like it should be Halloween. I said, it's really because the first half of October was 80, 90 degrees. We haven't had enough time to settle in yet.
But now it's like hit us and then I'm thinking Saturday is November.
Yes, it is.
And then it's less than a month till Thanksgiving. And everything is just like rapid fire happening.
And it's something like that, how that just happens. Like it is just all of it, like nothing going on. All of a sudden it's holiday. And it's not like it's small ones where you can have a little get together. Like they're the big holidays out there. So hopefully you all are getting ready. And if you're heading out today to get ready for any of those things coming up, make sure you're prepared for some reduced visibilities and some wet roadways because we got a little bit of both. We're going to start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh. The roads are wet. We've got drizzle. Drizzle's been heavy enough at times that it's actually led to reduced visibilities on its own. We also have some patchy fog. Our camera 7th and range line, the cloud base here is low again. It actually retreated up just a bit, but it's come back now. But no fog visible. But earlier this morning, heavy enough drizzle that it was leading to reduced visibilities. MoDOT cameras on I-44 around the metro. Again, you can see where some of them is exit 4, and then would be exit 8 near range line. So you can see some reduced visibilities out there. Main Street not looking too bad, but still, you want to be cautious. Where it is looking pretty bad, Iola, man, you are one of the top offenders when it comes to dense fog across the area. You are sitting at 0 visibility. It's stretching out west toward Yates Center, where we've seen at least some improvements at 2.5 miles, just under 6 in Chanute. Some improvements there. 5 Fredonia, 3.5 in Parsons, 2.5 Pittsburgh. We've seen improvements now out in the eastern portion of our area, but still, you want to watch out. And because of the nature of the drizzle and this fog today, it could last into the afternoon. So as I've mentioned, it's not uncommon, but it doesn't happen a lot where we have reduced visibilities due to fog or heavy drizzle that late in the day. So if you're heading out for lunch, just keep that in mind. You want to be cautious, and Future Track trying to get its best pickup on drizzle across the area, and that's really going to be the main offender today. But our rain chances will increase overnight tonight. We'll talk about that a little later. Temperatures this morning pretty mild, above normal, low mid 50s for many of us. Monette looks to be the cool spot at 51. Down the way in Veneta, the warm spot up there with Grove, both at 58 this morning. Kids heading out the door, 53, fog, drizzle, cloudy, 57 for lunch and recess, about 60 as they head home later today. That's where our highs are headed, of course. We'll go mid-50s by 9, upper 50s by noon, and 60, give or take a degree or 2 on either side there for our highs. East winds 5 to 10. As I mentioned, our rain chances do begin increasing after midnight tonight. We'll talk about that and take a look at Halloween here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. 2 people are dead after a house fire Saturday night in Pierce City, Missouri. KOAM's Shannon Becker was on the scene and brings us more details.
It's about 8:30, reports of a fire in Pierce City. The 300 block of Myrtle Avenue is where we are here near the Pierce City High School.
Fire departments from 4 counties responded to assist Pierce City Fire. As they arrived on the scene, it was already well advanced. Fire Chief Dan Albers says they attempted an aggressive interior search from multiple entry points, but conditions had already deteriorated too quickly, and winds were more than 20 miles an hour at times, which definitely did not help. The home, heavily covered by trees and overgrowth, is across the street from the Pierce City High School. Once the fire was under control, an interior search revealed 2 residents deceased. The Missouri State Fire Marshal's office was summoned to assist investigation, along with the Pierce City Police and Fire Department.
In Pierce City, I'm Shannon Becker. KOAM News Now, Joplin News First.
Fire investigators say next of kin have been notified, but names of the deceased have not yet been released. Funds are being made available for volunteer fire departments in Missouri. The Department of Public Safety is offering grants up to $15,000. For agencies with an annual operating budget of $50,000 or less, the money will be for firefighting equipment like new tools, radio equipment, and more. However, there is a 5% local cash match. So, for example, if the equipment costs $15,000, $789.47, the local match would have to cover the $789, and the state share of 95% would be the $15,000. A local artist puts a spotlight on a gallery in Columbus, Kansas. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
A local woman produces a documentary about Columbus, Kansas's The Maple Uncommon, an art gallery and guest home. Tuesday Welch grew up in Columbus and practices multiple types of art, picking up filmmaking in the process.
As I've gotten older and I have done a lot with myself in the arts and writing and making films about it with my YouTube channel, I wanted to show other people's artwork.
The documentary focuses on the local artists featured in the gallery, which opens to the public during Columbus Days.
It's like a museum itself now of all of decades worth of artwork that she's collected, and what's really special is all of her artwork is artists within a 50-mile radius. She very much wants to support local artists, which is a passion of mine as well, so I really resonated with that with her.
Welch sees the documentary as an opportunity to highlight the creativity of artists in rural areas.
Your art is never too small. What you have to put out in the world is important, even if you don't feel like it's picture perfect.
Reporting in Columbus, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The documentary is available to view on YouTube under the name Tuesday Welch. The Trump administration has received a major donation to help pay military service members during the government shutdown. The Defense Department confirmed an anonymous $130 million gift from an ally of President Donald Trump, money that will cover salaries and benefits for service members. Officials say it was accepted under the department's General Gift Acceptance Authority. The president said the donation came from a friend but declined to identify them. The Pentagon has not said whether it will brief Congress or reveal if the donor has any foreign ties. President Trump announced he has paused all trade negotiations with Canada over a TV ad that used President Ronald Reagan's words criticizing tariffs. As CBS's Christian Benavidez reports, Canada is pulling the ad so that trade talks can resume.
Trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer.
The Canadian ad features parts of a 1987 radio address by President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs.
Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
It led Trump to abruptly declare all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. The Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, was behind the multi-million-dollar ad buy.
It's real because it was coming from the best president the country's ever seen, Ronald Reagan. So it's very effective. It's probably one of the best ads I've ever seen.
But after talks between Ford and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, the ad is now being pulled from American airwaves starting Monday, allowing time for it to air during Friday's World Series game.
It's a crooked ad. I heard he's airing it. Canada, that's why I pulled everything. Canada, they did a crooked ad.
The latest trade spat comes after the U.S. hiked tariffs in August to 35% on many Canadian goods. Trump and Carney met at the White House earlier this month.
We stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions.
My fellow Americans,
the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation said the ad misrepresents the late president's words. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. George Clooney plays a successful actor in his latest film with Adam Sandler, the ripe-imitating art dramedy coming to Netflix. And cool and cloudy conditions in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Lori Langley joins us in the studio this morning to teach us how to make her candy corn cookies. Good morning, Lori. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. It's not a beautiful Monday out there, so we might as well make something fun in the kitchen today, right? It's the week of Halloween. It's going to be here before we know it on Friday. So I thought, you know, we need some kind of a Halloween treat. And I don't know about you, but somehow I always end up with candy corn in the house. I don't buy it. It's like the fruitcake of Halloween. But
it just shows up.
It shows up. It's like magic. So we're going to find a use for that candy corn. And it's a really good addition to these cookies, I promise. Even if you don't think you like candy corn, I think you'll like these. So we're going to start out with a pretty standard cookie recipe. And I've got a little bit of light brown sugar and white sugar. You can use dark brown sugar if you prefer. Not a big deal either way. And this is just a stick and a half of melted butter that is fairly cool. It's still liquid. It's not quite solidified back up yet, but it is getting there. You don't want to put it in there really hot right out of the microwave.
Okay.
So melt that first, get all your other ingredients out, come back, you'll be ready to go. And you don't have to get the mixer out for this. You can do all of this by hand. So
awesome.
That's a bonus. You can get the kids involved. Not a lot of elbow grease here. But I'm just going to sort of let that butter saturate my sugar. Let it get really well incorporated. And it's going to be pretty thin right now, but as we go on, this is going to be a dough that we chill for a little while, so you don't have to worry about that. So we'll let that kind of incorporate a little bit. Like I said, it's just going to be kind of a wet sand mixture there. We're going to add a whole egg and 1 egg yolk. So you'll see I had 2 egg yolks in there, but no whites for that second one. Test your separating skills on this one.
Yeah.
And there's also a little splash of vanilla. So you can't go wrong. You can add any flavoring to it, but vanilla really goes well with the white chocolate and that candy corn.
So classic.
Absolutely. And this is, again, just a pretty standard recipe for, this could be chocolate chip cookies. This could be any kind of chips in there that you want. You'll be surprised if you haven't shopped the chocolate chip section in the grocery store lately. There's espresso chips, there's white chocolate, there's peanut butter, all kinds of different flavors. So you could absolutely start with this cookie dough base and put whatever flavors that you wanted in there, any kind of candy pieces. It's going to go really well with that. So we're going to set this aside. And we're going to then put our dry ingredients together in a little bit smaller bowl because we're going to work it into the big one. And in my most beautiful Tupperware here, I have quite a bit of flour. Get all of that in there. And then on the side, we've got a little bit of cornstarch, baking soda, and salt.
Perfect.
That's what's going to make these. You'll notice on my plate here of our finished cookies, these are a really nice, thick, pillowy cookie. And so that baking soda and cornstarch mixture in there is what's going to keep them really nice and fluffy. So we want to whisk this together, or just kind of mush it together a little bit. Make sure that those cornstarches and baking sodas are incorporated. And then when we come back, we're going to put those wet and dry ingredients together. We're going to add all of our little goodies, and then we'll talk about our baking process on these because it's a little bit different.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Lori. We'll be right back. A new film puts a Hollywood legend in the spotlight. Bon Jovi announces a major return to the stage, and game shows are getting ready for spooky for Halloween. Here's Gwen Baumgarten with your Eye on Entertainment report.
In a case of life imitating art, award-winning actor George Clooney portrays the role of a successful actor in his latest film.
It's like a movie where I'm playing myself.
Clooney stars alongside Adam Sandler in the upcoming dramedy as their characters reflect on their legacy and life choices.
Jay Kelly, so handsome.
Look at you, you're the American dream.
While promoting the film, Clooney took time to reflect back on his own career.
Well, I went through phases where I wasn't very successful. So the one that changed my life and career was ER, and that changed everything for me.
Jay Kelly premieres in select theaters next month and on Netflix December 5th. Fans aren't just living on a prayer, they're living for the return of rock legends Bon Jovi. Pre-sale tickets are available today for the Forever Tour. The tour will mark the first live performance for John Bon Jovi since having vocal surgery.
I didn't lose faith, but I had no idea how protracted the recovery would be.
The Forever Tour kicks off next July in New York City. Daytime game shows are fully embracing spooky season with Halloween just days away.
That's Mr. Johnson. He's very grumpy.
But Mr.
He never has candy.
But maybe this will be the year.
Let's Make a Deal will air Halloween specials on both Thursday and Friday with costumes, special guests, and haunted prizes. And all this week, The Price is Right will re-air some of their most popular Halloween episodes from years past. Episodes air on CBS and Paramount Plus. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
There's always so much happening in the entertainment world and a little bit of something for everyone this year. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got the fog, we've got some drizzle, we've got wet roadways out there. It is a bit on the dreary side this morning. Break down details, take a look at your Halloween forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 6:20. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 on this Monday morning, starting again with the fog tracker. We're across a good portion of southeast Kansas and stretching into parts of northeast Oklahoma. We have some fog. We also have just some heavy drizzle. It's leading to reduced visibilities as well. Still at 0 in Iola, about 3 miles of visibility Yates Center, just under 6 Chanute, just under 5 Fredonia, under 4 in Parsons, under 5 Independence, about 3.5 in Pittsburgh, and a little over 7 miles visibility in Fort Scott, Newada as well, and 6.5 in Sedan. So we've seen some improvements in the southeastern portion of our area, but out into the northwestern 2/3 now, we are seeing that fog really along and northwest of the I-44 corridor is where we're seeing between, again, the heavy drizzle and some of that patchy dense fog. Now, it's not uncommon, but it doesn't happen a lot. We could have this patchy drizzle and even the fog continue with reduced visibilities into the early afternoon hours. So as you head out for your lunch commute today, just bear in mind there may be some reduced visibilities here and there. Future Track doing its best to pick up on what it perceives as drizzle. That's why there's just these little green splotches here and there. However, after midnight, actual rain chances will start to return to the area. And by 5 o'clock tomorrow, now we've got scattered showers out there. Could get a rumble of thunder or two, especially in the afternoon. But again, thunderstorm chances are low. It's the rain chances, just rain. That's pretty high. And we could get some very heavy rain at times with some of these showers as they push through the area. And again, a rumble of thunder or two will be possible. Also quite breezy tomorrow. So by 3, we've got heavy rain, at least rain in general for sure, across nearly the entire area. Now some of us get a brief pause in the rain before this system rotates on around again, and we have the return of rain overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Now Wednesday, as you can see, even as 5 a.m., we've got pretty good rain chances across most of the area. So that's why our rain chances for Wednesday are high, but that doesn't mean that it's going to rain all day. And right now, it's looking as though as we roll into the early afternoon hours, late morning, early afternoon, the rain will clear out, and then that'll be it. So we'll have good rain chances first half of the day Wednesday, and then we clear out, and we're just dealing with clouds and gusty winds following that. All right, through the morning, not much movement in the temperatures, and you can see the cloudy skies out there from 7th and Rangeline. We're 53 to start, about 56 by 11 o'clock this morning, again with that fog and drizzle. We'll go right around 60 for our highs today, so give or take a degree or two on either side of that, with east winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening, cloudy, expected to be dry other than maybe some patchy drizzle. Mid-50s by 10, low mid-50s overnight tonight. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Now again, tomorrow, by late morning into the afternoon, winds shift out of the northwest and they'll be gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour or so, and that'll carry on into Wednesday. We'll be about 60 again tomorrow. Mid-50s Wednesday. Our overnight lows, though, getting pretty chilly. Low 40s, upper 30s. Halloween, still looking pretty good so far, but cool. Are only about 60 for the high, mid-30s for the overnight low. So that means after the sunset, it's going to start to get pretty chilly. So make sure you bring a coat while you're out trick-or-treating. Otherwise, we're dry. Again, partly cloudy through the first week of November. Temperatures a little below normal in some cases. Otherwise, not bad. It could be worse. We'll go low 50s, low 60s. Overnight lows in the 30s and 40s. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Now is the time to get your annual flu shot. The Associated Press reports pediatricians are urging people to get vaccinated after last winter saw the most flu-related child deaths in the U.S. in 15 years. October is the best month to get vaccinated as cases tend to ramp up in November. The flu shot is recommended for everyone ages 6 and older, but more than half of kids in the U.S. don't get vaccinated. And a new study confirms what many of us already knew. During cold and flu season, the germiest group is young children. Researchers Research from Children's Mercy Hospital found pre-kindergarten and elementary school students have the highest rates of virus detection and can have up to 10 respiratory viruses a year. It can be tough to prevent kids from getting sick, but doctors say hand washing and staying up to date on vaccinations are critical. It's been a decade since a landmark study sparked new guidelines recommending peanut products to be fed to young babies in order to help prevent the development of life-threatening allergies. Since then, peanut allergies have significantly declined in the U.S., according to a new study. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither looks at the data and how experts say peanut products can safely be introduced to babies.
For decades, parents were told to keep peanuts and nut products away from young children until age 3. But in 2015, research caused experts to flip-flop. The current guidelines say introducing these foods in infancy can actually help prevent food allergies.
The end goal is to see this tide turn.
A new study published in the journal Pediatrics determined about 60,000 children have avoided food allergies since guidelines changed, including 40,000 children who otherwise would have developed peanut allergies. Still, about 8% of children are affected by food allergies, including more than 2% with a peanut allergy.
There's been a lot of fear.
Dr. Ruchi Gupta says that fear may have stopped some from following the guidelines, but she says parents should start introducing peanut products as soon as their baby is ready to eat solid foods, usually around 4 to 6 months.
Use like peanut butter, smooth peanut butter, and then thin it out with breast milk, formula, applesauce, whatever you desire. And then slowly introduce it to your baby. A little bit on the lip, let them lick it, add a little bit more.
Gupta says when introducing peanut products, parents should watch out for signs of an allergy like rash, hives, and vomiting. She says those are the most common symptoms in babies with a food allergy.
But if they eat it just fine, then I recommend just keeping it in their diet, keeping it in 2 to 3 times a week. And hopefully, that way they go on to enjoying it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, roughly 42 million Americans lose SNAP benefits as the government shutdown continues. The USDA memo explaining why.
And we've got some fog, we've got some clouds, we got some drizzle, we got some wet roadways, and dreary start to our day. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a deer shows up ready for class at a Missouri middle school. The principal's quick thinking that protected students.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:32. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday, October the 27th, and we've got a bit of a dreary start to the day, bit of a foggy start to the day out there as well for some of us. So.
Yeah, but we've been wishing for fall and fall-like temperatures, and it's here.
Yeah, it kind of hit us like a bus, though. Just out of nowhere, we go from the 80s and 90s and then down into the 60s and 50s, and got a bit of a cool start. Now, technically, we are above normal right now in terms of our lows, but our highs not doing a lot of warming. We're going to start though with our live look downtown Pittsburgh, and again looks all right at this point. You can see how low the cloud base is though out there. If you look off in the distance, roads are wet because either it's fog or even some heavy drizzle that's been falling in some locations. Our camera 7th and range line, again, low clouds, not seeing a lot of fog on this side. However, MoDOT cameras around the area, you can see this is at exit 4, so this is 43 south to Seneca. You can see that fog is actually thickened up out here, and we're seeing kind of the same here from the MoDOT camera at range line. So about exit 8. Main Street exit looks okay. Even exit 11, you can see there's some fog out there, but it's really thickened up along exit 4 and at range line. So here's the other thing, and that goes right back to what we've talked about. The fog tracker relies on point data in terms of observation stations reporting visibilities. Remember, Joplin, of course, in most places it comes from the local airport. The airport's on the far north side of the city. Its reporting visibilities are not bad, but we don't have a reporting station on the south side, and if Neosho or Anderson, any of these places aren't reporting low visibilities, it's not going to show up because there's no data to fill in there. So that's why you want to be cautious and just be reminded that what you're seeing relies on point data, and if it's not there, that doesn't necessarily mean we don't have some fog. Iola, though, still at zero visibility this morning, so if you're hitting out on 54 out toward either Yates Center or going from Yates Center to Fort Scott, be prepared for that. Future Track picking up again on it's doing its best on what it perceives as drizzle, and that's really going to be the case today. So that's going to be the other side of this, is between heavy drizzle and that fog, we could have reduced visibilities into the early afternoon hours as well, so do keep that in mind. Temperatures this morning somewhat mild for some of us, others not too bad. We've got low, mid, upper 50s across the area. Veneta and Grove still the warmer spots, both at 58. Kids heading out the door, we're looking to be about 53, fog, drizzle, same by lunch and recess time, 57, 60 as they head home. That's where our highs are going to head. Go mid 50s by 9, upper 50s by noon, about 60, give or take a degree or two there for those highs, and east winds 5 to 10. Now, actual rain starts to return to the forecast after midnight tonight. We'll talk about that, some gusty winds, and Halloween and how it's looking here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The stalemate drags on in Washington, D.C., and it seems with no end in sight. Chris Bryant has a look at what home loans may be delayed as the government shutdown continues.
USDA, FHA, and VA home loans are an option for some buyers when it comes to getting a loan for a new home.
With anything in general, right? The worst thing you can do is panic during this situation. And definitely having that conversation with your local lender, finding out how is my particular loan affected, if at all, by this shutdown.
FHA has a lower down payment of 3.5%. VA loans don't require a down payment. And USDA home loans offers 100% financing.
We are still operating business as usual. Yes, there might be a little bit of delays just simply because some of, verification departments or, certain aspects of each loan program may be running skeleton staff.
Jeff Parker is a broker with Murney Associates Realtors and has only one contract that is needed an extension at this point.
Loans that are really shut down or turned off are USDA loans. Our FHA loans are still processing, possibly with a limited staff. However, I haven't experienced a lot of delays on those. The VA loans are still processing as normal. So we're really dealing with SBA loans, which aren't very common, and USDA loans.
When it comes to loans like USDA, for buyers, changing to a different loan may not be an option.
So they need to stick with that program, and we're doing our best to work with these sellers who, you're correct, may have another mortgage payment coming due when they expected the home to be sold.
While lenders and realtors do their best to navigate buyers and sellers through the shutdown, it doesn't mean you can skip a mortgage payment, whether you're selling a house or if you're going to miss a paycheck.
Having a conversation of, hey, what does it look like if I don't get paid and I may be struggling to make that payment? Having the conversation ahead of time always puts everyone at ease, and it's much easier to play offense than defense when you get to that point.
And if the process is just held up,
you can do some possession agreements. If the home the buyer is purchasing is vacant and they have to vacate their apartment or current home, we can try and accommodate that.
A principal at a Missouri school jumped into action when a four-legged creature was hanging around the front door. Morgan Harris reports.
It's a typical day in the middle school. Arrival's always fun and exciting and energetic.
Wednesday morning turned out to be the furthest thing from normal at Ladue Middle School. A deer showed up ready for class, joining several kids outside the building. Principal Dr. Angela Thompson, who was inside at the time, sprung into action, protecting students like Isabel Hu.
When I saw my principal, I realized that I need to get into the building quick.
What went through your mind when you saw the deer?
Just take care of the kids. There are too many kids around for something like this.
And that's exactly what Dr. Thompson did. She protected her students, safely directing them away from the deer.
Thank you for stepping in, because you didn't have to, but you did anyways. Thank you so much, Dr. Thompson. That really shows how much compassion you have for the school and the students that are in it.
Compassion Assistant Principal Sarah Schwartz isn't surprised by.
It didn't surprise me because we as school staff are always trained to protect our kids. We love our kids and we want to keep them safe.
Any nerves running out, or was it?
Not a bit. No, I think any of my colleagues would have done the same. I just happened to have the right angle out the door. I'm pretty fortunate to be surrounded around people who put kids first and public education, taking care of kids, and parents drop their kids off every day, and I take that work seriously to keep them safe.
And while the deer did not make it inside before the school bell rang, for everyone else, it was business as usual at Ladue Middle. Morgan Harris, First Alert 4.
That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, inflation hits its fastest pace in 2025 as the consumer prices surge 3%. The goods driving up your grocery bill. Plus, anime dominates the box office again as Chainsaw Man takes the top spot, the $17 million weekend win. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, U.S. and China trade negotiators met to hash out a framework over the weekend, with the leaders of the two countries set to meet Thursday. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says President Trump's threatened 100% tariffs on Chinese goods is now off the table. Meanwhile, back home, the Trump administration has announced the SNAP food assistance funding will be cut off on November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues. Hormel is recalling nearly 5 million pounds of frozen, ready-to-eat chicken products because they could contain pieces of metal, according to a post by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The recall was initiated after multiple complaints from food service customers who found metal in their chicken products, which Hormel now says is believed to have come from a conveyor belt used in production. No illnesses or injuries have been reported so far. The USDA is concerned recalled Hormel chicken products could still be in hotel and restaurant freezers. And another big weekend win at the box office for anime, Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze Art, takes the top spot in North America with more than $17 million. Horror sequel Black Phone 2 was second with an estimated $13 million, and romantic drama Regretting You was third, earning more than $12 million. Inflation crept upward in September, further squeezing Americans' wallets. Karen Kafa reports from Washington.
Consumer prices for a range of goods rose at their fastest pace of 2025 during September, according to the Consumer Price Index report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Inflation ticked up at an annual rate of 3%. Pushing the top line number higher, gas prices, which shot up 4.1% last month. Top White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett blaming that on a decrease in refinery capacity he says has been reversed.
We've seen those have already come down, so we're highly confident that the next number will even be below this.
But food prices are 3.1% higher than this time last year, with some staples soaring. Coffee prices up 18.9% year over year. Beef and veal prices up 14.7%. Bananas up 6.9%. Some retailers say they're trying to hold prices down to keep consumers coming back.
We're really trying to hold prices because when prices go up, nobody wins.
Meanwhile, many federal workers missed their first paycheck Friday because of the government shutdown, which is also putting November's SNAP benefits for roughly 42 million Americans at risk.
It will make us, people like myself and other individuals, have to make that hard choice. Are we going to put food on the table or have proper health care?
The government inflation data release was prompted by a government deadline to make cost of living adjustments for 2026 Social Security payments, and retirees will see a 2.8% bump in their benefits next year. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got, again, the clouds. We've got some fog. We have some drizzle, a bit on the damp side out there this morning. We'll talk about that forecast and take a look at Halloween when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 6:45. We'll be right back. All right, time for some Monday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start in Parsons with Braylon Allen celebrating birthday number 9. Happy birthday.
And another 9 birthday, Wade Gefford in Humboldt, Kansas is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Wade.
And in Uniontown, Adeline Pritchett celebrating birthday number 10. It says, happy birthday with love from Mom and Dad.
And in Chanute, Kansas, Maddie McCormick is celebrating birthday number 21. Happy birthday, Maddie.
And in Joplin, Teresa Singleton celebrating birthday number 54 with happy birthday wishes coming from Nicholas and Zim.
And Dale Earl is celebrating birthday number 75 in Jasper, Missouri. Happy birthday, Dale.
Over in Erie, Pat Olson celebrating birthday number 90 says much love from Ron, David, Mark, and the rest of the family.
And Dwayne and Flo Reno are celebrating anniversary number 54, their 54th anniversary. It says love from the Brat Pack. Happy anniversary to them.
And our very own Ty Parks celebrating a birthday over the weekend. He's our senior multimedia journalist, our Skyview pilot here at KOAM, and was our third quarter MVP. We do a little thing here where we recognize people go above and beyond. Ty and I started a week apart from each other. When he was a photographer, we went out on many wild adventures together back in the day. So very happy birthday to you, Ty.
And some more birthdays. Kyler and Corbin Coombs is celebrating their 12th birthday in Frontenac. Happy birthday to them.
And in Columbus, Cameron Drager is celebrating birthday number 21. Happy birthday, Cameron.
And Dennis Eckhart in Carl Junction is celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Dennis.
All right, very happy birthday and anniversary to those of you on our list. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, it's really easy to do. In fact, it's so easy, Samantha's going to tell you right now.
Yeah, look at that email you can see on your screen right now. It's birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, by paying attention to that deadline on your screen as well, you can send those birthdays and anniversaries. Just make sure you specify the day so we're celebrating with you on the exact day we want to celebrate with you. All of those birthdays and anniversaries, those special days for you guys.
Absolutely, and we want to talk about some fog and drizzle across the area. Starting in downtown Pittsburgh, roads are wet. You can see the clouds out there, but otherwise not too bad in Pittsburgh right now. Same from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Cloudy. We've had some of that drizzle and mist out there, but we've also had some patchy, dense fog. In fact, some of that's showing up on the MoDOT cameras along I-44. So exit 4, so this would be 43 south down to Seneca, or if you're heading back west into Oklahoma, coming in and out of Oklahoma. You can see that fog is really thickened up down here. I-44 and Rangeline, so exit 8, you can see plenty of traffic on the roadway. You can also see some of that fog. Same from exit 11, Main Street. It's lighter at Main Street at exit 6, but still plenty of fog across the region and some drizzle. And again, just a reminder. First, real quick, Iola still at 0 visibility. If you're traveling through Allen County, if you're going from Fort Scott to Yates Center or vice versa, be aware of that. Yates Center down under 3 miles, Chanute under 6, Fredonia under 5, Parsons just above 4. But you see Joplin's reporting 9.1, and you don't see that fog showing up on the fog tracker on I-44. And that again is because the fog tracker, just like temperature maps, rely on point data. The airport, of course, is way on the north side of the city, away from the interstate, and they're not reporting fog at the airport. So because we don't have another reporting station close by reporting this fog, it doesn't show up. So it takes this data and this data, for example, combines it, and then fills in the gap on the fog tracker as to how this all looks. But if there's no fog being reported from the stations nearby, then it doesn't show up. But as you saw on the MoDOT cameras, that doesn't mean it isn't there. So just be aware of that. Watch out for the potential for rapidly changing visibilities. And again, the fog tracker, it works well so long as there's data reported in. But again, if the reporting stations aren't showing anything, but there's a big gap in between, for example, we may get fog that doesn't show up out there. So do be cautious this morning. On to the future track. It is doing its best to perceive drizzle, which is very difficult for it to do. And Skywatch Storm Tracker, for example, the only reason we haven't shown it all morning is it can't pick up on drizzle at all. The drizzle is just too finite for the radar to pick up, and so we wouldn't be able to see anything. Now, as we go after midnight tonight into Tuesday, showers will begin to increase gradually across the area. Some of these showers, especially as we head into the afternoon, could produce some heavy rain out there, and we could get a rumble of thunder or two. These showers will last throughout the majority of the day on our Tuesday. Some of you might get a brief brief break before this low pressure cycles back around and brings more rain overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, our rain chances Wednesday are up there pretty high because in the first half of the day, we're looking at pretty good rain chances across the region. But as we head into the second half of the day, we're expecting to clear out and dry out. So that's the other side. It's a 60% chance of rain because we're looking at rain across most of the area Wednesday, but just in the first half of the day before it starts to clear out. As for this morning, again, fog, drizzle out there, low 50s to start, about the mid 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Got another look at your forecast and the wake up recap in just a moment, and we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m. Multiple fire departments respond to a deadly fire on North Myrtle in Pierce City. We'll have details on that and a lot more at 7 a.m.
This is your Wake Up Recap for October 27th. Your top stories to start your day. Missouri volunteer fire departments can now apply for state grants up to $15,000 for new equipment. The funds are available to agencies with annual budgets under $50,000, but require a 5% local cash match. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And check that forecast again. Cloudy skies, some fog, some drizzle possible into the early afternoons. Do be aware of reduced visibilities, potentially lasting a little longer than what we're used to around here. Temperatures right about 60. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we head into the evening, we'll go mid-50s. Cloudy skies, rain chances increasing after midnight, low to mid-50s. Southeast winds 5 to 10. By late morning tomorrow, they switch out of the northwest, start gusting upwards of 25, and those gusty winds continue into Wednesday. Rain showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder through most of the day tomorrow. Heavy rains possible. First half of our Wednesday, a pretty good chance of rain, but as we head into the afternoon, those rain chances begin to clear out. We'll go low to mid 50s. Look at our lows too, falling back to the 30s. Halloween looks great, just a little cool, about 60, back into the mid 30s. Overnight, first week of November, not bad. A little bit on the chilly side though, 50s and 60s, lows in the 30s and 40s.
Well, sounds great, Chris. Thank you so much. Coming up today at noon, we're making cheesy potato soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. David Begnaud dips into his Dear David mailbag with two heartwarming stories of a man and a girl using their voices to help a family member.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we have Lori Langley in the studio showing us her candy corn cookie recipe.
And a 13-year-old cancer survivor turns his Halloween passion into a fundraiser for sick kids. We'll have that story and a lot more at 7. It's going to wrap it up for us for now here. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 5.
And we'll see you today at noon.